I've been in the tech space for a couple of years now, maybe
Okay.
like roughly, let's say 8 years. Let me start with how I got into tech. For me, I've been privileged to grow up around computers. So my dad was into computing. He did some things consciously, which I later in life realized. He left some books lying around,
Wow.
left some stuff lying around. It piqued my interest. Once you start making money from what you do, it's kind of it gives you more motivation to continue, right? So you do a small application for someone and get 50K and you're like, oh boy, just like that.
Wait, so sorry.
First, I would say there's no one size fits all to that question. There's no answer I will give you that would answer in all aspects. But I can say is what I did and what worked for me.
Okay.
First, you cannot want to have an international job as a software engineer and not have a
Hello guys and welcome to my channel. If this is the first time you are seeing my face, my name is Cheta and I create a lot of content in Abuja, Nigeria. You are welcome on board. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for your love and your support. I really appreciate you guys. If you're yet to subscribe, why? Please click the subscribe button down below. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Share it to your friends because I promise you are going to definitely enjoy this video. Make sure you turn on your post notifications so that you always get notified because I have a lot more coming up with regards to this series. Follow me on my social media handles. They are showing up on the screen somewhere. And yeah, guys, without a lot of rambling, let's get into today's video. So today's video is going to be the first episode of my new series, How to Join the Tech Industry, where I will be bringing tech experts from different sectors to come here and share their story, their journey, and help anybody to join the tech industry. And today I have a very important person. He's a software developer. He's very conversant with a lot of programming languages. He's opportune to have worked with a lot of multinational companies, and he's very good with what he does. I have worked with him personally and I can attest to that. So yeah, I'll just take this over to our guest today. Please introduce yourself, tell us your name, tell us everything we want to know.
All right. Thank you for the opportunity to be on set with you. My name is Richard. I'm Richard Otaru. I'm a software engineer. I've been in the tech space for a couple of years now, maybe like roughly, let's say 8 years, just to be on a safe assumption. How did I get into tech? I think that's the question, or just more about myself. Well, let me start with how I got into tech, right?
Okay.
So for me, I've been privileged to grow up around computers. So my dad was into computing, for some other things he does. But he did some things consciously, which I later in life realized. He left some books lying around, left some stuff lying around. And then there was a particular point in time where he went out to buy me a desktop system at home. The year and time that happened, thinking back now, it must have been a very huge investment on his part to have done that. But I would say it paid off, right? Because it piqued my interest. I started early in life, started looking at systems, started looking at what makes a computer tick, how to give it instructions. So I started out with programming languages that are just maybe machine language, not programming language like for web development and all that. So we're talking about things like maybe QBasic and stuff like that. So an assembly language itself. So, but those are just trying out my curiosity, basically. But fast forward, I got to discover that someone can actually make a career out of this stuff. And in my head, I was like, wow.
So you did not know all along?
You'll be amazed. You'll be amazed. So for me, it was amazing when I discovered that my passion could actually become a thing of career. Yeah. So it was easy to transit. Started out doing some simple JavaScript, simple websites for clients and stuff like that, small programming here and there. And once you start making money, this I want to say this part clearly. Once you start making money from what you do, it's kind of it gives you more motivation to continue, right? So you do a small application for someone and get 50K, and you're like, oh boy, just like that.
Wait, sorry, because I'm very curious here. Were we living under the rock? Like, how did you not know that tech was like the in thing at the time? Because I know you're not that old. The way you're trying to make it.
Well, you'll be amazed how old I am. Let's leave it that way. Let's just say I have good genes. So let's talk.
Okay. So Richard, can you just go in depth as to how you started out? Like, what materials were you like researching on YouTube? Were you Googling stuff? Like, how did all this idea just come upon you?
So let's say as soon as I discovered this thing could be a career, I took that personal leap to start learning on my own, start doing research into what the client needs. So it was driven by the need of the market at the time. So when people meet you and they say, oh, I want this thing done, I want that thing done. So it's their request that makes me know what I want to go and learn online. So I go to YouTube, I watch a few videos, I come try it out just to deliver that particular project to the client. Then fast forward a few months or a few years down the line, I start getting some clients that specifically say things like, you're very smart, why not go to school? Why not? You understand? But because by then I was done with secondary school, but no further education after that. But when I kept getting this kind of feedback, I had to call myself to order and took that bold step to actually go to school. And then luckily for me, I got an admission to study computer science. So
wait, so this was before you even went for any form of like
any form of formal education. Really? I was already writing some programs.
Guys, are you guys listening? Are you taking notes?
So that's where the foundation comes in, because I already had that interest. So in school, it was easy to focus because I already had a background.
Yeah.
So while they were teaching, I was listening for things that would resonate with what I already knew. So it was easier for me to process. So the practical courses were more interesting for me, where I get to write codes and all that. It may be difficult to get the assignment done, but you would catch me on it and I'll keep struggling until I get it done because of the excitement and the enthusiasm. Wow. Anyway, to scale through that, that also built another level of foundation for me. Again, that's the school experience, right? Where you have to do some projects and finding myself in good relationship with some key lecturers because of that passion you have, right? You're not just there to study and leave. You're there to really understand this stuff. Yeah. So I get myself close to some of the lecturers, they were very helpful. Many of them were very helpful. Okay. And earlier, while I was still in school, we were already going out for side projects. They could take me out to go do a side project. And that was building my
because they knew your capacity.
Yes.
Wow.
And some of them just wanted to give me an opportunity to actually do something. All right.
That's a lot too.
So it's helped build another level of foundation for me,
you.
Yeah. So it's really helped. And by the time I was done with school, I wasn't sitting at home looking for a job, although I was doing that, but that was the only thing I was doing.
Oh, you were freelancing as
I was freelancing with some of these lecturers. They were still reaching out to me.
Lecturers?
Yes.
That's crazy.
They were still reaching out to me. We're going for a project and all that while I was searching for a full-time job. Yeah.
That's crazy. So now, Richard, me personally, I studied computer science, right?
Okay.
And I'm sorry, but I just went for the formal education. I don't think I really picked up anything. My whole career path started after school, right? Imagine. So I know a lot of schools just make computer science a more theoretical thing. So is there any form of, like, what kind of actually hands-on practical training can you recommend to people out there that are like me now, that went to school and they did not have any form of like practicality to the things, and then they come out from school and they really want to delve into software development?
Okay, so what validates your want and desire is what you do with it, right? So if you say, I want to go into software development, then develop something. That's what I would say. So what do I mean? For example, you could do a notebook app. You may say, what do I need to put together to do a notebook app? Go to YouTube. Watch someone build a notebook app, for example. Or a list or something. Just build something, no matter how small it is. Once you've built a few things, small things, it forms a pattern in your mind. And after a while, you start to understand what makes those applications you built, what makes them tick. You start understanding, oh, okay, this is the part they call the back end, right? You may not have known that before, but now that you're already interacting with it, you now know, okay, this part is the UI, the front end, this part is, you understand? Then that's that passion for me. I'm saying it from my own perspective, will drive you to know more about those details that you're working with. So at the initial phase, you may not know everything before you start building.
Okay.
Right, but just start something. Right, let that your passion drive you to, you know, start something, no matter how little. Go watch a YouTube video and code along, even if you do not understand it first.
So YouTube will come in handy to these people.
I mention YouTube a lot because that's one of the tools I use. But
so
there
guys,
are many other platforms there.
We already know that YouTube is one place where you can find everything on this.
Yeah, for some people, they prefer structured learning, right? So you can look at things like Udemy. You can look at Coursera. They have many free courses that could take you through this whole process, right?
Yeah.
For some people, they just want their learning to come in on demand, right? Depending on what I want to learn, and they go pick it. But for some, they prefer it structured. So anyone, if you want structured, use any of these platforms online, and then go for
so guys, are you guys taking notes? Please check out YouTube, Udemy, Coursera, and the likes. So now, Richard, this question is one that even me myself, I'm very curious to find out.
Right.
I know that you have been opportune to work with a lot of multinational companies all over the world. So how did you secure jobs with these people? Like, is there anything that we are not doing right that we need to start doing right? Like, how do you think we can all join you?
All right. First, I would say there's no one size fits all to that question. There's no answer I will give you that would answer in all aspects. But what I can say is what I did and what worked for me. Okay. First, you cannot want to have an international job as a software engineer and not have a LinkedIn profile. The chances would be very slim for you, right? So one is have a LinkedIn profile, right? And try as much as possible to have your profile updated with the things that you're doing, the skills that you know, the kind of jobs that you're looking out for, and build your network, right? Build your network. Don't have just friends
that's on LinkedIn.
Build your network. Perfect. Don't have friends that just share pictures. Have friends that share. You understand what I'm saying? Like those friends that have the same passion, that have the things that they do those things that you like to do. Have them in your network, right? So you can easily grow. Another thing is every workspace you find yourself, try to keep a good relationship with your colleagues, because many jobs come as a recommendation. There's one saying that's very common in the software engineering space. They said a good person would most likely know another good person, right? So if you're really good as a software engineer in your workspace and then you recommend someone, that organization usually takes that person serious because of your performance. So if you've already built a good rapport with the senior devs in your space and they get a better job somewhere, by the time they call your name in a meeting or in a recruitment process, it helps, put you one step closer to getting a job.
Wow, that's nice. That's amazing. Yeah. So I hope we are taking notes, because myself, I'm taking notes too. So so the next thing I'll ask you now is just generally, I know you've shared a lot of tips, you've shared a lot of insights, and I know a lot of us, we don't want you to leave here. I'm sure we are enjoying this, but just give some major tips here and there for like children or newbies that are just in the career space. Like, because the thing is, a lot of people ask me questions and like, I want to join tech. They don't even know what tech is. They just want to join tech because that's where the money is. So just give a layman out there now that wants to join tech and advice on what they need to do, how they need to start up, and so that they can be like you someday.
That's a nice one. Okay, a couple of people have also reached out to me with similar questions. But what I would say is, tech is not all about writing code. Right? Exactly. It goes beyond that. It's about solution. It's about solving problems, right? And you may not necessarily be the one that writes the features that solve that problem. You could just be the one that organizes it. So what I'm trying to say is there are several aspects to tech. That is not just the tech in itself, right? For example, you mentioned work together. You are QA. You are not writing code, but you're looking at code, right? And validating and confirming.
I'm starting to write JavaScript now.
But that's what I'm saying. So there are different angles to it. But
you don't have to write code. You don't have to write code
to jump into it. Yeah. And as soon as possible, if you have a passion for tech, as soon as possible, join one community or the other. Okay. Right. It gives you exposure to information, access to information that you will not get just on the street, right? So join one community or the other where you mingle with other software developers or people in the tech space that can help you with, and attend meetups, conferences. Try to just keep yourself in that space, soak yourself in that space. You would see the one that best suits you, right? You know the one that best suits you, and you know how to key into it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So Richard, do you offer any form of mentorships? Do you teach people how to start writing code? Do you guide them? Do you mentor? Can you help my subscribers now in any way?
I do a lot of that.
Okay.
But to be honest, I've had a lot of work on my table of recent, and it has sort of choked my time.
Okay.
But all things being equal, I have a group of people that I put through software development, and my advice would always be, if you are passionate enough, I will be able to sense it. So while we work together, I am forced to prioritize you based on your passion for what you want to learn, right?
That makes sense.
But if you are someone that you just want to come to tech, I've met some people like that, just want to come to tech for the money.
Yeah.
Someone asked me, if I join tech, can I make 1 million in 3 months or in 6 months? And from there and then I already knew that, man, this is going to be an issue. But then
wrong priorities.
Yeah, some people still come with that mindset and later change, and they find out it's more interesting than they had thought, which is still good. But I would say, money is a good motivation, but if you let that be your only motivation, you probably will not go very far.
Very true.
So you need to get more motivation.
Very true.
Money.
Very true.
So for me, I do offer mentorship, but on a personal basis.
So how can they reach you? How can we reach you?
I think I can see the screen from here, but I think leave a comment or something like that.
Okay, so is it you let me know? I'll display on the screen now whatever, if it's a phone number, if it's an email address, if it's whatever it is, how you can connect with Richard.
I'll prefer LinkedIn.
Okay, LinkedIn, perfect.
Yeah, so it's easy to just.
So I'll put Richard's LinkedIn link in the description box below for you guys to send him a DM or send him a message, connect with him, and tell him what you need, and he'll be here to help you. At least I myself, I can attest to it. He's very good at what he does, and he'll definitely be of help to you in one way or the other. Yeah, so thank you so much, Richard, for coming. Thank you so much. I mean, guys, before I got this guy to come on, he was just forming busy for me. I mean, all these tech bros. But yeah, he's here now. So before you leave, Richard, I want us to play a quick game.
Right.
A quick game. First of all, you don't have to answer.
I hope this is not the part we'll have to cut out later.
So you don't have to answer this question, this particular question, but you have to answer the rest. So are you single? Are you in a relationship? Can I say I'm in a relationship with code? I'm in a relationship with God? No, we are talking about in a relationship with a human being.
Oh, that. Well,
do you want to hear exactly? Can we shoot our shots?
You want to shoot your shots? There's something I always say. I think you all should organize yourself. Have a WhatsApp group. But jokes apart, I'm single actually.
Yeah, so Richard is single now, guys, and you can always hit him up on LinkedIn as well.
Not for that.
Okay.
Keep LinkedIn strictly professional.
Okay, fine. Now, Richard, let's play a game.
Right.
So this game is going to go like this. I'll say she's a 10, but I'll say something. Then you say whether she's a 5, she's a 4, she's a 2, she's a 3. You get?
I feel like I'm going to lose.
So she's a 10, but she can't cook. What is she?
She's still a 10.
So you don't mind? You don't mind a lady that cannot cook? So basically, do you get it?
Okay, so my mindset is this about ladies and cooking, right? If you can cook, it's a plus. If you cannot cook, it's not a minus.
Oh my God, Richard, come and marry me.
No, but jokes apart. I feel, because I'm a good cook, right? So if you can cook, good.
Perfect. I found husband. Okay, so secondly, she's a 10, but she chews loudly.
Choose loudly. Like I would probably. I think that's something that can be worked on. Honestly, I'm not trying to sound nice. No. It's something you can. It's something you can talk to the person. You guys will talk about it, and then she will be conscious and then stop.
Okay.
But I don't think it's something that cannot change. It's not an addiction. Right?
Okay, fine.
Although it's irritating though.
It's very irritating. Yeah. Okay, she's a 10, but she has bad hygiene.
That's a no for me because no jokes apart, because there's a level of personal development I expect someone to be in, right? And bad hygiene just tells me it's not even a 5, it's not even a 4.
Okay, fine. Right. Finally, she's a 10, but she snores loudly.
Snoring. Why I'm taking my time? I don't like people that snore, but I'm taking my time because I know it's involuntary.
Yeah.
Right?
They don't know when they
don't know when they do it. So in my head, I'm thinking, is this something that we can help? Is there like a drug you take before you sleep? Is there medication? I don't know.
No
but
drug.
honestly, if there's no solution to it, I guess I don't know. It depends on how much I like the person. So,
oh my gosh. Richard is a lover boy, you. Okay, so guys, thank you so much for Richard, sorry. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Guys, this is a full-blown series, so definitely in the next episode you'll be seeing another expert. So stay glued. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe, like this video if it was helpful to you, share it with your friends as well if you think that you don't want them to miss out on this anyways. And yeah, I'll add Richard's LinkedIn information in the description box below. You guys should go and connect with him, and I promise you Richard will be of a huge impact to your life. So yeah, before I say bye, Richard, any last words for us?
Well, whatever it is that you have a passion to do, the proof of a passion is what you actually do. So start something, no matter how small it is.
This guy's too smart. All right, guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. You want to hear the sound? Okay, so hello guys, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Cheta. Blah, 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 blah. So yeah, let's meet Richard. Richard, let us know about you.
Hi. So my name is Richard. Obviously, I'm a software engineer. I'm not really shy. I just trying to put my thoughts together. I'm a software engineer, a full stack software engineer. I've been around the tech space for a couple of years now.
Okay, it's okay, fine. I just wanted to test the sound.